Hello everyone and welcome to pol310. My name is Dayko Bias. A little bit about myself. I'm currently living in Miami, Florida, and I've been married for the past 5 years to my high school sweetheart, whom we have a 3-year-old boy whose name is Alexander Bias. It's been quite an experience and a challenge overall, but it's something I wouldn't change for anything in the world. It's quite the learning experience and it makes you grow up fast, although that sounds cliche, but it really does. A little more about myself is I love sports, whether that is mountain biking, which I try to do as much as possible, along with going to the gym. Back in the day, I used to practice MMA, but being that I'm a dad and I'm currently having my career, plus my education, that's quite challenging to continue to do. But nevertheless, I enjoy doing it. I'm currently enrolled in 2 different programs, being organizational management and also political science. At the time when I first entered Ashford, I did also have a specialization in HR, but after a long consideration and thinking about it, it was pushing back my graduation another 6 months, at which time I decided to put it in the back burner for the time being and maybe come back to it when I was doing my master's program, which at this point I could either focus on political science or organizational management, being that I'm doing a dual major. I do have some general understanding in regards to this class, being that I just finished taking this past Monday, pol310, Introduction to Political Science. So I do have a general understanding of legislation, how laws are enacted, checks and balances, and pretty much the general spiel. So I wouldn't argue that I'm a scholar or that I know everything pertaining to political science, but I do have an understanding to where I could have an argument and hold my own. Looking into this class learning outcomes, I can see that we're going to be further analyzing important laws and institutions that have significantly affected environmental policies in the United States and internationally. Another one would be understanding regulatory mechanisms in different environments and policies, to name a few. Discussing a environmental policy or law that has impacted your life in a positive or negative way. I might argue climate change. A few years back, it was argued that it was false. There's no really such thing as climate change, although there's scientific data and research behind it, suggesting that it is very much so true, and it will impact all of us in one or another way. I think not just myself, but my son, his kids, and so on, they'll see the impact of our environmental policies and laws, for example, opting out of with all the other entities around the globe to help reduce our emissions and reduce at the rate that we're increasing our global temperature that will impact us. For example, I'm in Florida, meaning that if the temperature continues to climb and it gets warmer and hotter over the years, we might be underwater, because essentially we are a swamp if you think about it. So environmental policy and legislation, law overall, does have a great impact on controlling the states and the companies that work here, for example, the vehicle companies, or even the way of which we get our energy, and regulating how that is done, whether through energy, nuclear, or solar, or other aspects. But if there's no legislation, if there's no change in the law, basically then you're in a standstill and we're going backwards. So those are some ways where environmental laws and policy, which has gone backwards, in my belief, in the past few years, would impact not only myself, but my future kids, their kids, and essentially the world long term. Once again, my name is Dayko Bias. I'd like to welcome you to the class. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Thank you and have a good day.